My name is Jackson Qualley,
And I'm Zach Lytle.
and this is the feasibility study of the Oakland Athletics. In this feasibility study, we will be assessing the feasibility of a new ballpark at Howard Terminal for the Oakland Athletics. To start off, opening in 1966, Oakland Alameda County Coliseum has been a fixture in Bay Area sports for half a decade. It remains the only stadium in the United States that shares both professional baseball and professional football, proposing that with the inevitable departure of the Oakland Raiders and Golden State Warriors, the Coliseum is no longer a viable option as a baseball stadium for the Athletics. Looking more in depth into a potential new stadium option at Howard Terminal along the waterfront in Oakland, California for the Athletics. Oakland is currently near the bottom in attendance per game, with 21,829 attendees per game. That would rank 12th in the American League in 2015. We feel a new stadium in the downtown area of Oakland would help stimulate attendance. The Mayor of Oakland, Libby Schaaf. She proposed the Howard Terminal site in early 2016. The Athletics would prefer a stadium on the old site of Oakland Alameda County Coliseum, but she would prefer to build a new stadium on the waterfront. The plan would be financed by her downtown revitalization plan. She was quoted as saying, "I think Howard Terminal would be a fantastic site for a ballpark, one of the most spectacular pieces of real estate in the world." Moving on to our market analysis. The white population of the city of Oakland comes in at around 34.5%. The African American population would be around 28%. The Asian population would come in at around 16.8%. The American Indian and Alaskan Native population rounds at about 0.8%. The Native Hawaiian and other Pacific Islander population comes in at 0.6%. The Hispanic or Latino population in the city of Oakland comes in at 25.4%. Some other races get collectively combined into 13.7%. Two or more races combine for 5.6%. Continuing our market analysis, the male population of the city of Oakland comes in at 48.3%, with the female population at 51.7%. The under 5 years range comes in at 6.7%. The 5 to 17-year-old range comes in at 14.6%. The 18 to 64-year-old range comes in at 67.6%. While the 65 years and over crowd has 11.1% of the population. The median age of the city of Oakland comes in at 36.2 years of age. Along with this, the average median income for households in Oakland, California is $54,394, and that is as of 2013, a 35.8% increase from 2000 to 2013 occurred. The city is relatively young, which means we can appeal to the younger demographic to market our new ballpark. The people of Oakland, California have a plethora of activities that they can attend while going about their day. With a new stadium, the popularity of going to baseball games can only increase, especially with the ability to bring more people to the downtown area of Oakland. Yoshi's Oakland, the Oakland Zoo, and Oakland Athletics games are among the most popular things to do according to citizens of Oakland in a recent survey about activities in the city during the summertime. Moving on to the location, which would be Howard Terminal. The stadium site at Howard Terminal will connect Oakland Athletics fans from the suburban area of the city to the downtown waterfront where the games will be played. By bringing this new commerce to downtown Oakland, we feel that this new proposed stadium site at Howard Terminal would be a worthwhile investment for the City of Oakland regarding the city's future.
About the site, Howard Terminal. The site was proposed in a 21-page report to the Oakland Athletics ownership by Oakland Mayor Libby Schaaf as one of 5 potential sites in early 2016. The 50-acre port owned by the Port of Oakland, only being 14 to 15 acres required to build the ballpark on the site. The site was part of a push to incorporate Howard Terminal into the downtown Oakland revitalization plan. Mayor Schaaf wants to make Howard Terminal a profitable location for the city, citing that it's one of the most beautiful locations in the entire world. Property is part of the California Tidelands Trust, meaning the city would have to gain state approval to build a ballpark on the location, much like the San Francisco Giants had to gain approval for the AT&T Park back in the early 2000s. Current A's owner, Lou Wolf, is hesitant to move forward due to toxic waste issues with the site. The site would need to be rezoned by the city in an effort to make cleanup an easier prospect. Currently, would require an over $90 million investment in infrastructure to make it a viable location. Car and land bridges would be required for accessibility to the site, especially if you want a ballpark there, as well as downtown commerce around the stadium. Parking structures as well would need to be built, as much of the complaint about modern downtown stadiums is that there is no parking near the stadium. As you can see on the left, Howard Terminal currently does not look like much of a prospect for a bustling downtown stadium. But according to us, with everything that goes into it, we believe that this is a very profitable location. A ballpark village would be very important to the viability of a stadium. We call it Oaktown, much like a short nickname used for the city. We want to put it in action ourselves. A lot of space could be filled up with bars or other form of entertaining facilities, including restaurants, as well as team stores and other memorabilia centers. New and state-of-the-art parking garage will allow attendees to have an area to park their vehicles without much of an issue. Vendors can also be spaced out all through the area, connecting the stadium and the ballpark village, which poses another opportunity to generate some revenue by selling merchandise and several other items at these vendors. Fan appeal. Being so close to the bay gives the stadium an eye-popping feature that would attract possible fans of all ages. With SunTrust Park in Atlanta coming in 2017, this would shift the focus to the teams needing to build a new stadium. Along with this, the new stadium would extend the reaches of downtown Oakland. With the bustling population of downtown Oakland and the surrounding area being closer to the stadium, we feel attendance will rise, essentially solving the current issue that the A's have with the Coliseum. Marketing is vital to the new stadium's successes. Marketing will be key and directly tied to attendance, so the team will need to spend a fortune on marketing, we recommend. Finances. The City of Oakland will be the biggest source of finances in terms of building the project. The city will need to set up a tax for this project, and the City of Oakland would need to vote on it and approve it. Private donations and investors will be welcome to pour their money into the project as well, as the site will not be cheap. Sponsorships from numerous companies and businesses will be another option, and will likely increase revenue even before the site is ever built. The Oakland Athletics ownerships will need to fork over about a third of the expected cost, as we'll go into this a bit later. Revenue sources. The biggest revenue sources will be from the ticket prices once the stadium is opened. The team already received somewhere in the neighborhood of $35 million in revenue sharing from Major League Baseball, as recorded in 2015. Revenue will be generated through the new ballpark village, through team stores and local restaurants, as well as other entertainment facilities. Attractions could include festivals or concerts, and this would bring a great deal of revenue as well, as most major stadiums include several other activities in the area. Not only would it bring in revenue for the Oakland Athletics, the city of Oakland would benefit, because it would be attracting more and more people to the abandoned downtown area with all the attractions going on at the new ballpark. A new ballpark would cost somewhere in the area of $1 billion, primarily financed by the taxpayer, being a 65-35% split, 65 being the taxpayer and 35% being the ownership of the Oakland Athletics, as well as sponsorships. While that is a substantial amount, the Oakland Athletics could find numerous ways to find this $1 billion to fund the project. Our group's recommendation: the plan to build a new ballpark along with a new ballpark village, Oaktown, is feasible, albeit a risky plan for the Oakland Athletics organization. However, we feel even with the risk, the reward would be much greater. Throughout the study, we were able to find out that a new ballpark and an outdoor walking area that would be called Oaktown would be an extremely profitable venture for the team and the city of Oakland. By our estimations, the project generates more revenue than the cost would be for the project in about 10 years' time, meaning the team would be left to pay the remainder for about 10 years after the stadium would be open, which is not all uncommon for new state-of-the-art facilities. We believe that Howard Terminal is the very best option for the Oakland Athletics going forward, being the key to solving the Oakland Athletics attendance issues in recent years, stemming from after they won the World Series in 1989. It has steadily declined. However, with all this in mind, this project would be a major financial obstacle. Unknown problems during construction could arise at any time, as well as during cleanup of the site due to toxic waste during the project, so it is crucial that we recommend caution despite our recommendation. The Oakland Athletics need to find a new ballpark, and if they want to stay in Oakland, then the Howard Terminal site is the very best option that there is for the team's long-term success in the area.